David's shift had ended, and the evening needed to be filled with something. Returning to an empty house felt unappealing. After grabbing a quick bite at a small cafe near the clinic, he decided to see a film that had been eagerly discussed earlier that day in the residence lounge. After buying a ticket and entering the theater, David was surprised to find that, apart from himself, only one woman had chosen to spend her time there. That fact made him look at her more closely. In the glance she cast his way, there was a familiar detachment, a kind of emptiness he had seen far too often. During the screening, David found himself glancing in her direction, and each time he noticed the same thing. What was happening on the screen did not interest her at all. Soon, the film stopped holding his attention as well. He watched the woman almost without looking away, as if trying to discern something or remember something. Sensing his gaze, perhaps, she turned around, stood up abruptly, and left the theater. Later, he would recall with quiet pleasure the empty cinema hall and the light trace of perfume left behind by the strange woman. They met again 2 months later, this time not at the movies, but at the clinic. She was sitting in the lobby, and when their eyes met, David saw that the abyss in which she now existed had grown far deeper than during their first encounter. Visitors to this place, as a rule, already knew their diagnosis. The road leading here was rarely short, and that often gave a person time to arrive at acceptance and a certain understanding. For many, the period spent here became the final and most significant stage of their lives. The inner work they undertook required great courage, and only by the expressions left on their faces afterwards could one judge its outcome. Her condition spoke of something else entirely. The time between their 2 meetings had brought no relief, and she was now wholly possessed by despair. And that was the worst possible scenario for the final act. Entering the office of the doctor whose appointment she was waiting for, David asked to review the documents attached to her referral. Apart from her name, Lucy, he learned the most important thing. Although the end was inevitable, as it is for all living things, it did not necessarily have to come tomorrow. For some reason, that thought made him happy. Now he could see her more often, and he thought of her whenever his mind was not occupied with work. The month-long course prescribed by the doctor was nearing its end. Later, those intervals would shorten until they disappeared altogether. David noted that the work with the psychologist had produced no noticeable result. He could clearly see that for her, he still remained outside her field of vision. Yet for some reason, he did not doubt that this meeting was not the last, and that the next one would take place outside the walls of the clinic. And that thought warmed him.